Buying a home, it's become increasingly out of reach for everyday Americans, as rates and home prices have absolutely skyrocketed over the past several years. So in President Biden's State of the Union address, he proposed this tax credit that supposedly will save the day for all homeowners. He laid out his plans to give first-time home buyers a $10,000 tax credit that's supposed to help home buying be more affordable, and hopes that buyers will go running out and buy a home and enjoy the American dream and stimulate the economy, and everyone lives happily ever after. Also, they're proposing a tax credit up to $10,000 for homeowners who own a starter home that will incentivize them to sell their homes, giving these first-time home buyers a home to buy. And basically what it's going to do is put these home sellers out on the street. And we're going to talk about that later. Also in the State of the Union address, he said, if inflation keeps coming down, is he referring to inflation coming down in the United States? He says it's coming down. He says that mortgage rates will come down as well. And the Fed acknowledges that. But he says he's not waiting. He's got the answer. So will these proposals actually work, or will it do the opposite in making homes less affordable? Diane Cardano-Casacu here, broker and owner of Cardano Family Real Estate Team, here to unpack this tax credit. Is it truly in the best interest of the public? I'm going to break it down and review the pros and the cons of the tax credit. And it may sound good, it may look good, but who is really going to be paying for the tax credit? As nothing is ever for free. Ultimately, all tax credits come from us, the taxpayers, and it's really a tax on the American public. Well, first, the administration outlines the pros of this tax credit. The pros, number one, Biden's proposal offers tax credits for both first-time home buyers and those selling their starter homes, which could potentially ease the financial burden of purchasing a home. Two, it could help more Americans become first-time home owners. Three, it's been sold as a mortgage relief program, which will give first-time home buyers $10,000 in tax credits in two $5,000 annual installments. It's positioned as a mortgage relief credit because at today's mortgage rates, a $10,000 tax credit mimics a mortgage company giving buyers 150 basis point discount off their mortgage rate. Number four, in the best case scenario, this tax credit may give builders enough confidence to keep building. This could help bring about more supply, which is really what is needed here, because the supply has been its lowest it ever has been. Now, let's talk about the cons. One, it's going to increase competition. The tax credit does not help a buyer to get their offer accepted, does not help prospective buyers beat out cash offers. Buyers are saying they can't compete with all the flippers and corporations that can pay well over asking and pay in cash. The administration needs to listen to what buyers are saying, what they need. What they need are policies to help increase the housing supply and controls on these corporate entities buying up housing. Two, it's going to increase the home prices. These tax credits will drive up home prices by stimulating demand without addressing the underlying issue of the limited housing supply. As buyers run out to buy a house to capitalize on this tax credit, with the supply so low, this $10,000 credit will increase prices. I'm thinking $20,000 to $40,000. The increase in home prices will offset the credit. Number three, it's going to create a locked second home buyer effect. Let me explain. How is this up to $10,000 tax credit going to stimulate home sellers to move out of their starter home? How will this help them when they would have to trade their 3% rate for the 7% rate, or whatever the current rate is, which is going to be higher than 3%? And more importantly, where are they going to move to? There's no inventory for the move-up buyer to move in right now. So does this proposal also give an incentive to these empty nesters who live in these move-up buyers' homes to get them out of their houses? How is this going to help that supply issue? These empty nesters, these seniors who own move-up buyer homes, they're stuck in their homes right now in the fear of moving due to the uncertainty of the economy and worrying about what's next great idea will the administration come up with next to take away their hard-earned retirement money to fund some ineffective tax credit bill. How do I know this? I have over 200 future home sellers that are sitting in my database right now who were supposed to move over the last 4 years, who've been watching the retirement money shrinking over the last 4 years, feeling very depressed. They're coming out of retirement. They're going back to work as they can't afford the rising cost of living. I talk to them every week. I listen to what they're saying. The problem is the administration is so out of touch with what is happening boots on the ground. And that would be a great change in the administration to work on that. Number four, the bill does not lower mortgage eligibility standards or even widen the credit box, what led to a crash almost 20 years ago, 2008. You remember the Dodd-Frank bill? Well, rates have fallen from 2023 peaks right now. The average rate for 30-year fixed mortgage is still hovering around 7% as of March 13th. We're close to a multi-decade high for mortgage rates. So unless Biden's proposed credit counts as qualifiable income, it's not going to actually make it easier for home buyers to qualify for mortgages. I have a new client, a first-time home buyer who makes a good income, $76,000. Her husband has been looking for a job, so they have to buy on one income. Her credit score is almost 800. She qualifies for a low-rate mortgage of about 6.125%. A perfect buyer. She also qualifies for the $15,000 grant. This all helps her qualify for a $300,000 home, but in order to buy a home for $300,000, she has to move about 2 hours from her job, 2 hours away from the city, just to find a home that is not a dilapidated fixer-upper. This is, again, boots on the ground. And if her husband does get a job, then they're not going to be able to qualify for the lower rate or for the grant. They're not going to be able to afford a home, even this higher-priced home that's closer to her job. Next, inefficient incentives. Economists caution that the proposed tax credits may not be substantial enough to significantly alter the behavior of buyers and sellers, particularly in the face of a challenging house market. Next, the risk of exposing home buyers to more financial risk. There are certain aspects of the proposal, such as waiving title insurance requirements for refinancing. This could expose home buyers, lenders, and taxpayers to increased financial risk. Now, what lender is going to allow a home buyer to purchase a home without title insurance? Next, uncertainty in achieving supply and demand balance. Will these proposed measures effectively balance demand and supply, being a neutral market in this housing market right now, especially considering the ongoing challenges related to housing supply shortages? Lastly, impact on affordability, which we talked about. While the proposal aims to make homeownership more affordable, there are concerns that the certain aspects like the $10,000 seller tax credit may not be sufficient enough to address the affordability issues effectively, particularly in regions with high housing costs. And as I said before, there's nowhere for them to go unless you give incentives to the empty nesters, the seniors as well. So there you have it, the hidden truth behind the tax credit and more boots on the ground overview into exactly what first-time home buyers need, and more importantly, I think, what home sellers need to help them make that move, feel comfortable about moving, something that's going to increase the supply to help homeowners feel more confident about the economy, so they're going to move. Diane Cardano here. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I love to hear your thoughts on the issue. Drop a comment below. I'll see you on the next one.